Our today's topic is that why should we make public transport free for all? So let us start our discussion. Yes.
Okay. Um, why public transport is important for us, and why should we make free for all? So we will discuss this in our conversation today. As we know, the public transport is important for everyone. It carries human. It carries people from one place to other, and uh, uh, one place to other, and um, it 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 reduce the cost of it reduce the cost of
It reduces the
petrol.
cost for
It reduced the cost for vehicles and the fuel expenses, fuels,
good.
and
Hmm.
um, mostly for
Okay,
um,
what are the examples of public transportation? So when you
uh,
are explaining a concept like what is public transport, you have to give the examples as well.
uh, there are many ways for public transport. As
Hmm.
first of all, first is uh, um, public
Hmm.
road transport. Second
Ah.
is rail transport,
Hmm.
and third is air transport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Road transport include
among all these, what are the modes of transport that you want to be free for the people? Because of course we cannot make free everything because it involves
yes,
the fuel, it involves the management expenses as well. But what do you think, according to you, can be made free for the general public?
in my opinion, uh, public the bus and the public bus should be free for all because it's most people use uh, the transport use this transport for their daily life.
Hmm.
So the bus transport should
Hmm.
be free for everyone.
Ah.
Uh, so it is important.
You tell me that since it is not free now, so what are the disadvantage people face? Why do you think? Give me some solid points on why should it be free. Like I tell you, there are like if we want to travel within the city, so the cost of traveling from even within a city is so high that people are not able to afford that, due to which they are not able to move. Understand that if the people move more, economy also increases. Okay, so this is fundamental to everyone to move from one place to another, and also they should afford to commute from one place to another, and that's why we should make at least the bus free. Second, what could be the second point?
Uh, Ma'am, this is important for who this is this should be important for those who cannot afford their own vehicle. And um, they can easily uh,
Very good.
commute
Third.
with and it also reduce the environmental benefits. It is also the environmental benefit from this as more people go more people go with the transport. It go with the transport, so it reduces the traffic. And instead of go most people go with the public transports instead of their driving their car. So uh, so uh, so it reduces the pollution. uh,
Yes.
uh, it also reduces the environmental pollution.
Yes,
And
good.
it's also good for health because if we have to go to somewhere, so we have to go to the stop for
Hmm.
stop. So by this, our it's also good for our health, and
When we
it
walk, when we
reduces
walk towards the stop or the
towards
bus stop,
for the bus stop.
walking increases. Yeah, walking enhances our health. Yes. Next.
And walking enhances our health. So there's many benefit of use the public transport, and
Hmm.
it should be free.
Good. Okay. Also, of course, you made a really good point where you said that people, if, if the public transport would be free, then the people would not use their personal vehicles. Okay. So what will happen? That it will reduce the pollution. Just imagine, the problem is that everybody, if everyone would go by their own personal vehicle, for example, if there is a car, so if I travel by a car, there is just one person. However, I can actually commute 2 to 3 people in the car. But I am the only one who is traveling by the car, and I actually spend that fuel. So that's why public transportation should be free, because it will help to use our system to the full efficiency, because a bus, with the same fuel, actually is able to transport more people than than if they travel alone, than if they travel alone by their own vehicle. Okay, so this is how it actually prove as an efficient medium. Yes. Next point.
It also, and when, yes, it's,
It is
yes,
also sometimes convenient for the people from the poorer section, because
yeah,
sometimes they the choice, of course, for the richer people 10, 20,
yeah,
30 rupees does not matter, but for the poorer people it matters a lot. And they,
yeah,
if given a choice, they will not spend the 10, 20 rupees, and they will prefer to go on foot, isn't it? So it will also give them convenience, that if,
mm,
wherever they are traveling, they can travel by the bus. They have certain, they have certain convenience by the government, isn't it?
yes.
Okay, more.
How many
Also, don't you think that
access?
public transport is a safer system? Just imagine, if if we go by our own vehicle, then probably, not everybody knows how to drive, or probably somebody is drunk, or somebody has taken the intoxications. So probably you are not in a state to drive. But if we are going through a public transport, we know that who is the driver. The driver is somebody who is expert in his job. It is his job. It is not simply because he is driving out of certain comfort, but it is his job. He was trained, he was trained for every circumstances. So don't you think that it is quite safe to travel by public transport, because the driver, or the person who is actually driving that vehicle is actually very trained and very experienced in that?
Yeah,
Do you
that's
think? Yeah, we speak about it.
yeah, that's true. In the public transport, mm, there are many there are many reasons. There are so many
You
reasons.
tell me, what are the reason for the accidents? There are lots of, like, daily accidents are happening. Do you feel, matlab, you tell me that you also read the newspaper. Have you ever come across that a bus, bus का accident हो गया? ऐसा बहुत कम होता है. Mostly ऐसा ऐसा आपको दिखेगा कि
Person
बस
working.
खाई में गिर गई, ऐसा होगा. ठीक है, पहाड़ों पे हो गया. बट ऐसा बहुत कम आपको सुनने को मिलेगा that the bus has actually the bus का किसी का accident हो गया किसी के साथ. Why? Why? Because they are experienced driver, है
That's
ना?
and
या
they
बट
drive
हाँ, किसके
carefully.
एक्सीडेंट किसके होते हैं? मोटरसाइकिल के, ट्रक के, दोज हु आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द पर्सनल, those who have their owner, है ना? And owners are not trained. Nobody has trained them to how to drive, what to do. Okay. Yeah, so you speak about it.
And yes, if person have their own car, own vehicle, they are they are not so much careful to while driving, because they want to if they want to go to their destination, so they drive fast. They will drive fast to commute that place, commute that destination. So that's why it's a more prone to accident by their own car. And while in whereas in public transport, so as we know, the driver who is carry the bus, he is efficient in driving, and he also had a license of driving, and he's efficient, and he will drive carefully, because he
Yeah,
had a responsibility to carefully um, that mm, that vehicle,
uh,
because
okay.
government, under
Yeah.
government.
So
Yes,
yeah, so that's why they are much safer option, है ना?
yes,
Instead
yes,
of
yes.
a person goes by their own vehicle, it is quite safer.
Quite
They
safe.
are trained in the pressure. They are trained in the temperature. You know, they do not sleep while driving. You know,
Driving.
however, these things are not seen in the normal people. You know, who claim to be the owner of their vehicle. So, since so we can add this point that since there is no official training of the vehicle owners and anybody, you know, nowadays we can see even a 14-year student, yeah, even 14-year kids are on the road on their scooties, है ना, or on their bikes. So this is not safe for anybody. However, you have the convenience that okay, a person is going tuition by their own, but it is not safe, and it is not safe for them, also it is not safe for the larger society, because sometimes the mistake is not ours, it is the mistake of the other person who is doing the wrong thing. Okay,
Mhm.
so this also happens, so it will also prevent the road accidents.
Road
And
accident.
the other,
Yes, yes.
what are the other points you are able to think? Yeah, you know that in the European in Europe these kind of system exists, you know, they have made the public transport free. So from this point of view, tell me that how it will reduce the pollution
Uh, Pollution in India or in Europe?
in India, beta.
Okay, in India. Okay. As we know that if people go by by public transport, they reduce the transport. They reduce their on. I mean, they reduce if more people go with the public transport instead of their car. So it
Hmm.
so more less car will be on the road. So
ऐसे आप
it
बोल सकते
reduce
हैं,
the
fuel consumption would be limited.
fuel consumption would be limited, and the traffic, it can also reduce the traffic, and that is traffic and lower greenhouse emission, and they improve the quality of air, and um, um,
Very good, yeah.
public transport, it it also benefit for climate change. If
Hmm.
we use the public transport, uh, and it is and the next is the accessibility and
हाँ.
equality. Accessibility, the free public transport is um, for everyone. Free public transport is important for everyone, and
It
whether
is
their
accessible,
condition.
है ना? You the point you want to win that it is accessible, you know. It is available in almost all the major sports. Yani you come out of your house at a certain place and you can find a public transport there,
Public
isn't
transport.
it?
Okay, yes. And
Yeah.
it is also important for low income individuals and family who
Hmm.
are who are not able to afford uh, their own car and vehicle, and it also accessible to everyone if they want to go to their destination, uh, if like office
देखो
and
बेटा,
market.
इस वर्ड इज नॉट असेसिबल, इट एक्सेस होता है, ठीक है? असेस अलग चीज होती है, असेस का मतलब होता है
Access,
इवेल्युएशन, एक्सेस होता है, ओके?
access,
एक्सेस
access,
मतलब व्हाट यू कैन एक्सेस है, ओके?
accessibility. Okay, ma'am. Access, accessibility.
Okay, so one more thing, do you think that right to the free transport should be our basic fundamental right, as we have other rights like right to freedom, right to life. So do you think that we should also have a right to move from one place to another? Can this also be the fundamental to our life?
That means that should be free. In
Yeah, free.
It is free. Okay. In my opinion, I I would say it should not be free for everyone, for all, because it should be for underprivileged low, who are struggle and who are not able to uh, purchase,
Afford.
able to buy, afford their own vehicle. So this would be free for those people, not for everyone. Uh, so, in my opinion, I would say, and who is the person who have not so much money to go with the um, cabs, like these cabs like Ola cab and etc.
हम्म? और आप
So
इसमें ऐड कर सकते हो इन द मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज, है ना, कि ओला
metropolitan.
एंड कैब्स इन द मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज.
So public transport is easy fare. There is a very
इजी ऑप्शन.
cheap fare, I mean, so they can easily afford. uh,
So do you think that right now the public transport fares are quite expensive? What is your opinion? Like, do you think so? I give you two options. Do you think that it should be made more cheaper, or it should made free?
it should be make more cheaper than it's free. If that free for all, it's I think it should not be for um, better for government purpose. I think the quality of service will become low if if that service will free for everyone.
Hmm.
So many people will, so many crowd will go with bus, public transport. So the public service will reduce, will not be good as well. So fare should be cheap instead of free.
फेयर शुड बी चीपर, आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो ना, फेयर शुड
It
बी
should be
चीपर,
cheaper
है ना, जब हम
instead
दो
of
चीजें,
free.
आप ये नहीं बोल रहे हो ना कि चीप हो, आप ये बोल रहे हो पहले से चीप होना चाहिए, है ना, चीपर
It should be cheaper than instead of free.
instead of free. So this is your opinion. Oh well, of course. Well, you know that in Delhi NCR, the bus system is already free for the women. Are you aware about this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
Okay.
the.
Do you think that it leads to discrimination? Do you think that it leads to discrimination, like why it is not free for the men?
Uh, yeah, I would we can say that uh, it is a point of discrimination, I
Acha,
think.
you tell me what could be the idea behind this decision that it would be made free only for the women, not for men?
It's showing that the women has uh, I mean financially low. It
Okay.
shows, I in my opinion, it's showing that male, it's a male dominant society, and we can say it's showing that women are not independent, so they can uh, uh, they are not independent, so much independent that they can uh, give the fare of buses. I think this free for the underprivileged log, and they should provide they should provide a card or something else, which by showing this card, they get the
Token,
free ticket
token.
for male and female both.
Okay, okay, yeah. So now coming to the Delhi government's decision, you tell me, do you think that it is discriminatory? Now, just now you have told me the idea behind it. So idea behind it is that, it is because they want to promote the women, women empowerment. Okay, so the only thing, the basic thing we can do is that at least the women can move from one place to another, because sometimes we know that the transport our transport expenses added to our other expenses, like for example our courses. So many people do not send their kids to outside just because they cannot afford the fare. So at least for the women, when it becomes free, they can go to the tuition to a place where they want to, without thinking about the fare. And we know that in the students life, even the 10-20 rupees actually matters for us. Yeah, you tell me now more. Do you think that is it discriminatory? Carry on.
Absolutely. Um, um, as we know that girls as well as boys also under the age of 16, 17, they also go for a tuitions, and whenever they have to go. It's girls and boys. I think it's a point of discrimination for me. Both are. In the age of 16, 17, both girls and are financial independent, not financial independent. So that would be free for student, I think. Student and female, as sometimes the people who are the men who are has very low income, and they are the labor. There is and the labor who cannot afford, because they go to their place on the daily basis via public transport, and they will pay a fare of the bus. If they free for those people or the student who have more travel than uh, uh, the others. So this is the point of concern for me, I think. Okay, this would be free for
Of
those
course.
who are
So,
required.
through this discussion, we come to know that it must be affordable, and it should not be discriminatory. Of course, we should make the public transport cheaper, but not at the cost of our, other things. Like we cannot excel our budget. We cannot make free for all, or can take all the expense on ourselves, because ultimately, even if we make the public transport free, the money has to be spent by the taxes given by the normal people. So we
Normal.
should have at least minimum fare there. However, it must be cheaper, and it should not be discriminatory, at least not in the form of male and female. It must be priority must be given to the people who cannot afford such things, and priority
So,
must be given to those people
mm,
who actually need this, and
mm,
those who can
mm,
pay. And however, we can also make this option in front of people, that those who can pay kindly pay it, so that we will actually instill a goodwill among the society. And we are not promoting free buys, or we are not promoting the sense that if you are born in a certain gender, then life is easier for you. Okay, so we should also instill this goodwill among the people. So this was our discussion on how whether